I'd like to call to order the Landmarks Commission meeting for June 24th, 2024. Time is currently 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
David Craycraft.
Here.
Pete Lynch.
Here.
Roger White here. Linda Boving.
Here.
Whit Wardell.
Here. I'd like to make a motion to excuse Rick Dopda and Dr. Scott Kelly from tonight's meeting.
I'll second.
Roll call. David Craycraft.
Yes.
Pete Lynch.
Yes.
Roger White, yes. Linda Boving.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Can I get an approval of minutes for the May 28th, 2024 Landmarks meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of May 28th.
I'll second.
Roll call. David Craycraft.
Yes.
Pete Lynch.
Yes.
Roger White, yes. Linda Boving.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
The first application for tonight's agenda, CA 24027. This is for the vestibule addition at 10 West Oak Street. This application was heard during the May Landmarks Commission meeting. It was tabled based on feedback from the commission. Up on the screen for refresher is the site plan of the overall complex. The proposed addition is shown in yellow there on the OP Cheney grain elevator. This building addition will be roughly a 12 by 16 two-sided addition that will be located against the grain elevator that will create the new formal entry into this space. Up on the screen is a photograph from last month just kind of showing the existing conditions. Zooming in here, the area kind of behind this tree is the location for the new vestibule addition. Based off of the feedback from last month's meeting, the architect has re-rendered the elevation and the drawings to make them consistent based off of that feedback. Has also changed some details that will be discussed in a couple slides. So looking at the addition again, you can see that view of what it will look like from the street. And then another profile view here of what it looks like from High Street. The addition itself is called to be made from a hardy siding. The applicant is showing here tube light windows and doors in dark bronze. The windows and doors, one of the comments from last month's meeting was to make the architectural drawings and the renderings consistent. So looking here, you can see on the south side of the east side of the building, there are 3 sets of windows. And then on the south side of the building, there's 2 sets of windows and a commercial door. The applicant has provided cut sheets here showing the sill and head detail for how that kind of gets built out. Those are some of the questions from last month's meeting. You can also see here how the storefront windows will sit on the head and sill as well. Some of the materials call-outs are consistent from last month's meeting with the James Hardy paneling for the exterior, the Galvalume metal roof to match what the renovation of the existing building has been, and the applicant has provided more details for the tube light product. With this product and based off of some feedback, they are showing zippy grids, which will be a simulated divided light grid that will break up that storefront tube light product. The applicant has provided the detail here showing what that zipper grid looks like, how it fastens to the front of the glass, the in between the insulated panes, and then on the inside of the glass to give it that simulated divided light look. There's more details in your packet for the profiles, dimensions, but this photo here I think does a good job of showing how it breaks up the standard tube light depth, the little profile that's on the right hand side of the screen. If there's any questions from the commission, I'll be glad to help answer. The applicant is here to take any feedback and questions from the commission as well.
Andrew, without having the previous here, the main difference in the siding is the panels versus the board and batten, correct?
Correct, yes. On the gable end there that's facing the east, previously above the panel work, above the windows, was a small section for board and batten type detail. This change has made it more deeper panel work that goes the full height.
Am I missing somewhere in here the panel mold detail? Is there one, or is it?
If you look in your packet, there may be a detail that I was missing from my screen here. If you go through the 11 by 17 sheets, there was a third detail that was in between the sill and head.
Hey, Pete, are you looking for this one here?
Well, just what kind of panel mold it is. Can we maybe answer that question? You could step up to the podium. Is it more of a is it raised panel mold? Is it going to have a raised profile to it?
So it'll have a raised profile, but it'll all be smooth texture.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we don't have an exact detail of what it's going to be in here, but yeah, you'll have trim panels around the doors and the windows, and then another panel sitting behind that, similar to the one you see on 3.
I was just curious whether it would be more like a shaker panel, or is there an actual panel that'll be raised higher than the trim? Any idea?
No, I think it is just going to be the trim itself and the panel.
So more of a shaker style?
Yeah.
Okay, there won't be any more additional molding? Okay.
So there won't be a band above the windows, it'll just be the panel?
Correct.
Just like it shows on the elevation?
That's correct.
And I have not seen this zippy grid system for this tube light window before. I like it. Has it been out for a while?
Yeah, we've actually used it on a couple projects. I think we've used it at, I want to say, the Waterloo project here in town.
Okay.
So it has been something that we've used before. What we like about it is obviously it looks more like a light rather than, something sandwiched in between the glass or something like that.
Right, and it for sure has that inner grid that's going to match the same color?
Correct.
It'll be bronze as well?
Yes, bronze.
Andrew, we don't have any images of the previous presentation with the other addition. I know we're not to that point yet. Do you have any of that by chance?
The full project, no.
So the plan with that, though, is to continue the same tube light style window all through the second, I'll call it the second edition, whenever that comes, on the far left of the building?
That would be, I think that would be what we would want to do, yeah.
Okay.
Depending on what the windows actually look like and how big they are.
I just can't remember quite what that looks like now. It's been a while. I like the panel work as opposed to the board and batten. The differentiation there is nice.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm just kind of thinking about the overall plan. That addition on the far left is going to be much bigger. Will some of that panel work then likely carry over?
It will, yeah. I can't say how much, I don't remember, but what we did do to the windows here is we made the lights, there's 15 lights in each one of them. We matched them all the way around this portion of the building. So that would continue if it pops up somewhere else.
Okay.
So this is the only gable end that actually has the panel versus the board and batten, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the starting.
I mean, I'm just looking at this picture here. I mean, this gable end has the board and batten.
Oh, the entire existing structure is
Yeah.
all board and batten, I think. Well, there is some horizontal siding on the dormer. I like the changes. I think it looks nice. No changes to color, anything like that?
Nope, the colors on the material sheet, the James Hardy is going to be the smooth, intellectual gray is what we're going to use. the metal, the metal roofing will match the existing. We added a gutter, in this detail that will match the existing gutters as well. The render on the existing does not show the gutters, but they are there on the existing building.
Are they half rounds?
They are.
Or are they actual K-style?
The
Half rounds.
profile you see is the same one.
Okay.
There's a couple.
Or half rounds, Pete.
Okay, I thought so.
Is this sidewalk a new section that wasn't on the previous plan?
They did not have that connected on the previous plan, correct?
Correct.
So that's the new addition, which is good.
Do you think the downspout will be up against the building or out next to the door?
I think we'd probably try to hide it up against the building.
Okay.
On the inside, kind of where that tree is.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve application CA-24-027 update as stated.
I'd like to second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Whit Wardell,
Yes.
Pete Lynch,
Yes.
Linda Boving,
Yes.
David Craycraft,
Yes.
Roger White, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The next application, CA 24029. The address is 56 through 58 East Waterloo Street. The request this evening is for a new hanging sign for Chloe's Spa. Up on the screen is a photograph from 2019. The building has been relatively unchanged since then. This photograph does show the previous sign that was there for Impact Nutrition. The bracket is still there. That is what the applicant's looking to utilize to hang a new 24 by 36 inch aluminum double-sided sign. Vinyl graphics applied. This is primarily the same size that was there before. Pulling up that prior approval, it was also a 24 by 36 for frame of reference and scale.
Andrew, is that bracket still there? It's going to hang from the same thing?
Correct.
Everything's the same size?
Correct.
You're just pulling the old side down and putting this in its place, right?
Sounds like it. Is there any questions for the applicant or Andrew? I'd like to make a motion that we approve application CA-24-029 as presented.
Second?
Roll call, David Craycraft,
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White, yes. Linda Boving,
Yes.
Pete Lynch.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
The next application, CA 24030. The address is 31 through 33 North High Street. This request is for a new wall sign. Up on the screen, again, photograph from 2019 here. The wall sign that's looking to be replaced is the one that's shown in the photograph. In this instance, the frame to the sign is going to remain. The content panel inside the sign is what's being updated. The dentistry is kind of rebranded. As part of that, they're looking to redo the sign panel. This sign panel is a aluminum panel with a vinyl graphic. What was there before, it was kind of hard to see, but it looked like it was a couple different layers of signage that was stacked on top of each other. So the main difference on this one is it's going to be one sheet similar to the last application, just applied to the wall.
Andrew, does that have a piece of glass or film over top of it, or is that just a reflection, the original photo?
No, there is no piece of glass on top of it, it's just a reflection.
All right. So again, everything's the same size,
Correct.
actual sign.
And what was there before?
If you look on the photo to the right, Dave, the small thumbnail, you can see it said general dentistry, the phone number, and the 3 practicing dentists.
Oh,
They are
okay.
changing the content of the name of the sign, and primarily the sign's going from kind of like a multi-tenant panel system to one single sheet.
Andrew, there's no illumination on this sign.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Have any further questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, we approve CA 24030
I'll second.
as presented. Roll call, David Craycraft,
Yes.
Whit Wardell,
Yes.
Pete Lynch,
Yes.
Linda Bogan.
Yes.
Roger White, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next application, CA 24031, address is 43 East Columbus Street. The request this evening is an addition to the accessory building that's located to the rear of the parcel. Kind of see it in the aerial here up on the screen. This property, brief history, was constructed in 1828. It's been on the National Register since 1988. This property owner has been to the Landmarks Commission several times since 2016. Back in 2019, they got approval to construct a 22 by 13 addition to the rear of the existing brick summer kitchen. The request this evening is for a new 11 by 18 addition, which will be the second addition onto that summer kitchen, the accessory building located behind the house. You can kind of see it up on the screen here. The original brick structure is what is primarily visible from the street. You can start to see some of the first addition as you kind of make your way down East Columbus Street. Up on the screen, photograph of what that current condition looks like. Again, the 22 by 13 addition to the rear was previously approved in 2019. What the applicant is looking to do is add an open-end addition to the rear of what's there currently. So the open-end addition would go off of this elevation here, projecting out towards the rear of the yard. You can see here the pad that currently has the 4x4 and the tractor on is where the addition is going to be placed to give some weather shielding to those implements. Applicant has provided information here of kind of what that existing condition looks like, including the proposed addition. Couple things to note here. This addition will have a lower roof line than the previous one that was approved. The previous one had a lower roof line than the original structure. The existing conditions, this building had walls on all four sides, 2 doors on the west elevation. This new structure is going to be all open, so they're going to be exposed 6 by 6 posts all the way around, but there's going to be no walls on this section. Part of the reasoning behind that is this structure and the addition is located in the special flood hazard area, for those that recall. Special flood hazard area has some restrictions on building construction. So some of those restrictions include kind of how water needs to flow and move throughout the space in the case of a flooding event. So these 2 boxes right here and this one on this side, and then there's the one here on this side, these are all active flood vents that physically open on their own under hydrostatic pressure to let water flow through them so the building doesn't get torn down by water pressure. Rather than going through the process to do that with this other phase, the open-end style will keep some of the overhead weathering off and doesn't have as many restrictions from a floodplain design. Also, part of the process for the applicant is this area to the rear has been raised to be flat, so it's a flat surface with the rest of the building structure. This will also have to get certified with a surveyor on what elevation it's at, and also some building techniques to put the pier post down to below frost level with the new construction. So little details that you'll not see as kind of behind the scenes, but just worth mentioning as part of this project and its location on the property. A couple things when staff was putting together this application. Here's a photo of when the application came before the Landmarks Commission the first time. This was a photo with CA 19030. The applicant had started building this structure without any permits, so we put a stop notice on the property to get applications approved by the Landmarks Commission before anything commenced. So this is kind of what you see here now. One of the things this photo kind of noted, just for the commission's reference, is this summer kitchen had a green standing seam metal roof. It looks like with sometime in the last few years it's been changed to be a black standing seam. Really what gave it away was the striations in the panel, and then the new kind of lumber framework underneath. Additionally, when looking at the application approved with CA 19030, these swinging doors on the garage were actually called out to be this Wayne Dalton garage door style, the model 6600, Kingston arched. The plans called for the addition to be white with black trim. So a couple changes have taken place since the original approval in 2019. I thought it would be helpful for the commission to talk about this evening with the proposal for the new expansion to the rear. Is any questions for me? Be glad to help answer. The architect is the applicant for tonight's meeting, representing the property owner, to answer any questions you have.
Looking at the previous edition, Andrew, the center section, I'll call it, we were just talking about the doors, is that a green roof?
This, yes.
So that was green to match the one that was on the building?
Correct.
And what's on the house?
The house has a black standing seam on the front porch. This is the type that does not have the striations in between the panels. And then the roof had I believe a different type of architectural shingle that was removed for this dimensional shingle.
So the originals, I'm not sure if that's a summer kitchen or what that building is there, it had a green standing seam?
Back in 2019, yes. And then the addition right here, it's blurry, this is a green corrugated metal roof. So this has exposed fasteners on it.
What is the spec for the new roof? It says metal roof.
I'm not sure.
The
Dave?
new metal roof is just, I called out metal roof.
Is it gonna match?
If I say match existing, I mean, the center section has a different style roof than the summer kitchen on the north side.
So which one is it gonna match?
It would be the one next to it.
So the green? And it's gonna be the same style, an exposed fastener roof?
Yes.
The exposed fastener green roof was approved in the 2019. I did,
It was.
yes, I did note that.
Kind of going back to the piers that Andrew talked about, you don't have anything spec for that. Is it going to be, are those going to be exposed a little bit above ground for the post to set up?
And when you say the piers, what are you referring to?
The piers to set this building on, because you've got a...
Well, we have to go down to Virgin,
Right.
and it
So that
could
back,
be
that
more
back
than
section,
32.
that back section's got a
Right.
wall, right? Railroad tie wall. So you have to go down in there pretty far?
In other words, it won't be 32 below that gravel, it'll be 32 below grade.
Right. So on the outside edge, you're gonna
Mhm.
be down pretty far.
And
And is
I
that,
think you requested a survey to mark the southernmost
Correct,
points.
correct.
so will the piers be dug inside that railroad tie?
As far as,
wall?
when Brian talked, he was gonna tear the ties down,
Okay.
and actually, he's gonna have to tear the ties down to get a pier to go where the building needs to go.
What's gonna retain all this, the gravel then? Is he gonna?
Well,
put
the
it-
piers, the retaining wall's gonna go back up.
Okay, so they're gonna take it out and then put it back
Yeah.
in,
That's my understanding,
or something of the sort?
yeah.
What about the 6x6s? Are those gonna be painted to match the rest of the place?
Yes.
And what is that color? Is that black? Do we know?
Well, the siding is like a gray, a real, very dark.
Really
gray.
dark gray?
Like
Okay.
a
So we'll just say it's gonna match the siding?
Yes.
David, is the new structure going to have gutters?
I'm assuming it would. I mean, it's all gravel outside. I mean, if you think we need to put gutters,
I don't know, I'm just asking the question, throwing it out there.
well, I guess I would say I'd rather not have gutters.
How about we just clarify if there's gutters that they need to
Okay.
match? Andrew, there's nothing's stopping us from having an open structure like that as an accessory?
No, this structure was designed basically to hit the maximum 720 square feet for the accessory building could be. The open walls are a product of keeping the building design from having to be flood-proofed, or excuse me, flood-resistant with the new louvered vents. So the alternative would be to build an addition and then have to put in more venting to adequately release the pressure in the space during a flooding event. The alternative is to leave it open like the way it is, and then given the equipment that the applicant's wanting to put in there, that seemed like a more sensible route.
Sure, yeah, where it sits too,
Mhm.
kind of out of the way. So there's no issues with the overall size being attached to the summer kitchen and then the previous addition, and this is a needed variance for that?
No, so that's kind of one thing that me and Dave looked at specifically, is if you add up all the dimensions here, the building is right at 720 square feet.
No kidding, with the summer kitchen?
Correct.
Wow. That's great.
In fact, we had to downsize.
A little bit.
Proposed addition.
To keep it there.
get
Yeah,
under
I
the
think we shaved the
720.
foot off. It was 18 by 12. It's an 18 by 11 now.
Dave, do you foresee any issues with snow and rain and blowing in and
Basically,
other
no.
kind of walls being put up there later?
No, you know what, his main concern is just to keep the water off, the rain off the equipment and the
Okay.
snow.
Yeah, the original discussion was to do some half-height walls, but looking at the base flood elevation of 761, and then the elevation of the last addition was at 755, you'd have, your walls quite a way off the ground before you kind of relieve that flood routing. So then the more open structure was sought after that.
Okay. Dave, do you know what the plans are for the doors on that previous addition that was put up?
What the plan, no.
Yeah,
I know
obviously they
Andrew
didn't-
sent me a text or an email
Okay.
saying that they weren't,
Yeah, it almost looks like just a plywood sheeted
Yeah.
framed door at this point. Do we have any further questions? I would like to make a motion that we approve application CA-24-031 with the conditions that the roof match the green exposed fastener roof of the addition next to it. Also that the railroad retaining wall, if it's removed, gets put back in the way that it was. And that the 6x6 framing will all be painted to match the existing siding, that dark gray color. And if the new structure is to have gutters, that those gutters and downspouts match the existing. That is all.
I'll second.
Nothing about the changes that were made from 2019 till present. I think,
I mean, can we attach something like that? As far as the doors should be done the way that they were.
yeah, the
The other
two-
changes were made to the other building, correct?
Yeah, the two alternatives I kind of gave the applicant was either to bring either these in as if the changes that were made are appropriate, to incorporate those changes that were made into the motion, or if the changes that were made were not appropriate. I think a good route is to reaffirm that those things need to revert back to what was originally approved in 19. Because at a basic level, what they constructed does not meet the approval of 2019, and they're currently in notice of violation from that approval. So
Which really just falls to the doors.
the doors and if there's any issues with changing the roof on the brick portion of the building.
Although they should have come in to do that, it does match in style to what we approved in the center. I would just wonder if they did the black to kind of tie to the front of the house, because you can see it. Discussion? I think the doors should go up the way that they were approved.
I could live with the roof, but I think the doors need to come in.
Andrew, so we can just add that in, correct?
Yeah, I would do both. I would approve of the new roof on the brick component, and then specifically note that the swing doors on the first expansion need to match what was approved in 2019.
Andrew, do they need to be Wayne Dalton, or do they just need to match that design? With like that half cross bucket bottom?
Would be up to the commission, but this is what was approved, was the model 6600 wood grain Kingston arched in white. I pulled what was originally in the packet, and this was what was in there.
I think typically we're looking at the aesthetic. If somebody wanted to build their own door, as long as it looks like that door, I think I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So the fifth condition for CA-24-031 is that the original approved Wayne Dalton style carriage doors be installed as opposed to what was put in.
Those are roll-up doors, Pete.
Are these are roll-ups?
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, either that Wayne Dalton or a similar, same style door, if they want to actually make it. carriage style.
Swing or lift
Although I
or,
wouldn't recommend it. They're just gonna wear out and have to be rebuilt, but it does fit the building, I think the style of building. But they should be in the same likeness as the Wayne Dalton, what style is that?
6600 wood grain Kingston arched.
Okay.
Andrew, can you send me that picture,
Yep.
please?
And we will approve the roof on the summer kitchen being changed out.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, Roger White, yes. Linda Bowman?
Yes.
Whit Wardell?
Yes.
Pete Lynch?
Yes.
David Craycraft?
Abstain.
Who seconded that?
Wardell.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Craycraft.
Thank you.
The next application, CA 24032. The address of the subject property is 20 North Trine Street. The request this evening is for some hardscape improvements around the property. This residential home was constructed around 1912. The applicant this evening seeking approval for several hardscape improvements on the property. The list includes replacing the front porch brick planter box and steps with a new dimensional stone, a new paver walkway in both front yard and rear yard, and a river gravel walkway down the north side of the house. Up on the screen, some information on the front changes the applicant would like to make. They are looking at making the new entry steps wider than what was currently there before. They're looking to have an 8-foot wide entry step that is made from this overfield dimensional stone. Next to the steps, the second half of that front porch width would have a 9-foot by 2-foot stone planter box, similar to the brick one that's there now, but to be a stone material. Directly leading from the public walk to the front door, and then the kind of lead walk you're seeing around the side of the home to the patio there along the alley would have a new paver walkway. Looking at a site plan here from front to back, the items we were just discussing on the front elevation is here for orientation. The walkway that will lead to the existing patio on the side. The applicant's also wanting to install a new paver walkway that will connect the deck that's located on the north side of the home to that patio on the side. And the third thing is to fill in this area here that's on the north side of the home between the neighbor's deck and the neighboring chain link fence with some river rock to kind of take care of some of the mud issues with kind of the shading, natural shading, and the inability of grass to grow. Again, the one walkway that will connect the deck component to the patio wrapping around, and the applicant has provided these photos here for the pavers that they're looking to have installed for color and sizing. A couple things that was noted on the application that has been removed since submittal was the applicant was looking to do a garden wall that was kind of roughly 80 feet long that was connecting the patio to the garage. We weren't able to get enough detail for that for this meeting, so it's been removed at this time. May come back in the future. And the applicant wanted to do something creative with kind of some hardscaping between the wall and the alley as well. That may come back in the future, but nothing has been added to those details for tonight's discussion. Applicants here, if you have any questions. This one's a little unique and it's all kind of like surface level hardscape stuff besides the entry to the front door of the building.
Andrew, is the fence still along the alley there? I should know this.
Yes, there's the,
So used to seeing it.
yeah, there's a section here of 6-foot fence and then a smaller picket fence that extends out closer towards Trine Street from that. The goal for the pavers is to wrap kind of this section of the rear here and tie back into the patio.
What are the existing steps in front of the house?
Is the applicant here?
They're a very thin brick paper that are crumbling.
So you just want to get rid of the planter on the left-hand side?
Correct. The steps will be wider to cover that area. And they'll be centered on the door.
Is there an alternative to this dimensional stone, this Rosetta dimensional stone? It looks rather, I don't know, it doesn't, I don't think it fits the house, that type of stone.
The other one they gave me is a paver. I didn't like the look of the paver. I wanted it to be stone,
Is the
but I haven't
retaining,
hit the lottery yet, so.
is the retaining wall on the right side, is that the Rosetta Stone, or the stairs actually that same material?
It's all gonna be the
The
same. I want it to match. Because there's brick there now on both planters, and then these pavers are like maybe half inch that are on the steps.
It's just a veneer brick, it's put down. So both planter boxes are coming out, you're just gonna rebuild
Correct. The
one?
one on the right is cracked in two places and the front wall's falling off.
It's just a planter box with the little construction toys in it.
Yeah, it did have, but it's now got flowers in it. Okay, they're not real flowers yet, but
So do we have any samples? Have you brought any samples in for us other than what's here? No? Andrew, help me out if you can. What are the pavers that are gonna go all the way down the side?
So the pavers that are going down the side, if you take a look at that little thumbnail photo right there.
those are the two shapes.
Okay.
There's this last sheet here, Pete, there's a full, the very back page.
Okay.
And then there is a sheet the applicant provided. I kind of, I've had a photocopy what she sent. It was kind of blurry, all the thumbnails, but if you look at this one, there's all the product specs and details for the project. The actual images for representation are almost worthless at this scale, but the descriptions are in there. Yeah, item number 3 and 4 have been removed from the request this evening.
These dimensional stones, is it like a molded concrete to look
It
like
is
stone?
concrete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someplace on there it tells you that it's concrete.
I've seen these in walls, but
Yeah,
I've
in
never-
walls, they look a lot better than that picture.
I've just never seen them used as a step without, maybe as part of a riser, but as the actual tread, without actually seeing.
Well, there will be a flat part on top, I don't know what it's called, of the step,
You mean on top of the stone?
on top of that stone.
The rendering does show,
Someplace on there it
Right,
tells
that's
you
what
that
I
it's.
can't
yeah.
tell. Are those limestone caps, or are they the same color?
I want to assume, Pete, if you look at this photo here, see the cap on that landscape wall?
Right.
That's what I'm imagining is,
So they're maybe more rock faced.
because you said that the stairs are all the same Overfield product.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna assume it's whatever that cap is on that wall.
Yeah, and that wall at least is made of those stones. It looks a lot better in that wall than that picture does.
And that stone wall that we're looking on that page, that's actually that same material?
Correct.
Just looks so porous.
I think you said the color's the same too, correct? Yeah.
So the pavers down the side of the house, would they be
darker.
the same color?
Well, you can see some of the same color in them, but there are other,
Okay.
many colors in it.
But overall, they're darker, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that'll start right off the front sidewalk? and
Correct.
Meander all the way around to the back porch?
To the patio, and then the one off the back of the patio to the deck,
What is the patio now?
concrete.
It's just a concrete slab?
Yeah.
Did we have this property come to take that door out?
They asked at some point if they could do a privacy fence around the yard.
I remember that. I just don't remember the door. There was a door, there's a set of steps that goes up to nothing now, is that correct?
Correct,
Okay.
on that patio.
What's the plans for that?
I have birdhouses sitting on them right now. I don't know, pretty big concrete steps right now. Kind of be nice to still have a door to go out to the patio, but
And this stone, that's the actual color,
yes.
kind of a buff?
I mean, as long as it's all tied together aesthetically, you know?
Yeah, I was just worried about the caps, what the actual stair, if they were just stepping up on stones, like a 6-inch limestone. If they were deeper, you know, if they looked the same, it looks
Well, it
like,
doesn't look like that porch is no more than, less than 2 feet.
yeah, I'm guessing 20 inches.
So I'm assuming it would be 3 risers,
Yeah, it's 3 steps.
3 steps. That might be less than 6 inches. I'm just trying to figure out the cap. I'm assuming it would be like 2 inches.
That's
thick.
what I'm wondering, are those stones gonna have to get cut down to form
That's
the
what I'm,
riser?
that's what I'm thinking. Where you might only see 3 inches of the actual stone.
Right.
And then 2 inches of cap.
I think as long as it's all the same color.
I mean, the front picture now shows 1, 2, 3, 4 risers, the fourth one including the, you know, the porch part.
Right.
It's almost like you could add, take a riser out.
If you had a higher step, more like an
Yeah.
8-inch step.
But,
I think
you know,
they
I'm
can
not,
figure that out.
I mean, you might see more of the stone in the riser part.
In this drawing that you have, comparing it to this picture that you have, this picture shows a solid board across here underneath the porch. And then your drawing shows some
The
different.
planter is not going to be as tall as it is. The brick planter that's there now is taller than what the other planter is going to be. And then they're going to install, there should be a picture that shows the, like picket, upside down picket on the side of the porch.
Like this picture right here.
Yeah, then it'll match, but the only place that picket is on the left side of the house. Is there a picture in there that shows?
So you're going to remove the board underneath the porch floor?
Well, no, there's a board there still.
I think the skirt,
Skirt.
This piece.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be below that board because the planter is
Below the
only going to
skirt,
be
you're
like
You're going to
2 feet
retain the
high.
skirting,
Yes,
that underneath the porch floor,
Mm-hmm.
and then these are going to be below the skirting.
correct, to the planter.
When the planter's out.
Okay.
Oh, I see it here, Roger. See, that looks like that's the skirting right here.
Yeah, he kind of drew it in there, but
oh yeah, it's brown, so
It's
it looks
brown.
like it's coming out. Okay.
And then then the lattice work goes underneath.
So have you spec'd what those boards are supposed to be? Are they gonna be 1x4s,
yeah,
1x6s?
I thought I had a picture in there. On the left side of the front porch, there is boards that are like upside down pickets. And then they have, one board has 2 holes drilled in it and the next one has 1.
Okay, so you'll match what's on the right
Right.
side.
I want what's
This-
on the side of the porch put across the front, and actually on the right side too, because it's not on that side either.
This right here, Lola?
Yeah. It's kind of like that, they're not as long, obviously.
So we're gonna be consistent with what's on the side.
Right, the side of the front porch.
And
Those
those-
ones that you were showing on the deck, Peter, were to mimic what was on the front porch.
Okay, okay.
And those will be painted white also.
Correct.
So the river rock bed, that's going right on the north side, just to, okay.
It's a little muddy over there.
And where does that stop?
From the deck to the edge of the
Okay.
fence.
So what's grass there now will just be,
Well,
Stay grass.
there's no grass there. It's just mud.
I meant before that blue line there. Okay.
Just mud.
If they give you an option for the treads that'll sit on, for your front steps, if they gave you an option of a smooth face versus that rock face, what would you prefer? So they usually make them both.
The tread is the part that goes on top of the step, right?
Correct. It usually sticks out over that front rock a little bit.
Now, doesn't it say someplace in there that it's a round coping or something?
Let's see, maybe it's on the... It's just hard to tell with the picture. They look like they're smooth.
Full nose coping, it's the very last line, Pete. Three
Okay, I see.
risers, 8 foot long with full nose coping.
All right, that'll look good. That'll look like a piece of limestone then.
Thank you.
Any further questions? I would like to make a motion that we approve application CA-24-032 with the conditions that the porch skirting at the front and right side of the front porch match the pickets or slats at the left existing side, and that those are to be painted white. And also that the treads will match the stone material and color, everything, all the stone across the front.
I'll second.
Roll call, David Craycraft.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Linda Bovee.
Yes.
Pete Lynch.
Yes.
Roger White, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Last application for tonight's
I
agenda.
can show you a picture of those. Just not one that I sent you. This is what it shows on the side of the porch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just as long as those match up.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Surprised those are still on there.
I just couldn't believe it was only on one side.
You mind sending that to me, just so I can
Sure.
save it? Those look nice. Thank you. Last application for tonight's agenda, CA 24-033. The address is 24 East Mound Street. The request this evening is for an exterior renovation to the rear addition of the subject property. This residential home was constructed between 1872 and 1881. The front porch was added, there was a front porch added in the early 1900s that was demolished in 1991. The rear addition for tonight's discussion was added in the 1960s. In case anybody was curious, I thought it was interesting, this house was constructed for the local hat maker, women's hat maker for the area.
How fun.
And so, wages must not have been high, because this is probably the smallest little brick original structure kind of in town, so really,
adorable.
really cute. This property is part of the North High Street Historic District. That's been the National Register since 1989. The only other approval I found for this property from the Landmarks Commission, again, was in March of '91. The front porch that was on this home, the full front porch, was removed to construct the new brick stoop that you can see in this photo. The applicant this evening has a series of requests for the renovation, siding, roof, windows, and doors. For the siding, the applicant notes that the current siding is white aluminum. They're doing interior remodeling and found that there's no vapor barrier between the siding and the drywall. So they're adding new hardy board siding with a 7-inch exposure to the project. The applicant has picked out the color aged pewter here, I believe in the textured finish like the photo. With the replacement for the siding, they are looking to install new gutters to match the same style that's there, but also replace the soffit with a new hardy board soffit in white. For the roof, there's currently a 3-tab asphalt shingle on the building. They're looking to replace that with a dimensional asphalt shingle roof, similar to the neighboring home, but a photograph of kind of that style is located on the right. And then for the windows, there's currently 5 windows on this addition. The applicant has included sizing information here. 3 of them are a 32 by 62. The kitchen window is smaller at a 32 by 42, and then a bathroom window at 24 by 26. The applicant notes here that the picture below on the left will remain the same, but will be replaced with a new one. And then just details are provided on those windows the applicant's requesting, are vinyl windows. However, looking at the application here, I didn't see information on how the windows would be trimmed out on the exterior with the addition. And then finally, the applicant's looking to replace this man door here and this glass block window with a new sliding patio door that will make a much kind of bigger entry from that alley side of the property. Any questions for me? Glad to have an answer. Applicants here to answer any questions you guys have.
The place where you want to put the sliding glass door, it looks like the fence, and correct me if I'm wrong, does it butt into the house?
It does. So the fence is going to be taken down.
Okay.
Because you can see that it's in really bad shape as well as the rest of that addition. So it's going to be taken down, and then I'll eventually be back in here for an approval on that. But that will be taken down, and then the plan is for the fence to just kind of move
Okay.
up a little bit to make room for that door.
I mean, I think what you're doing in the colors, I like that.
Yeah.
The pitch of the roof really looks almost below a minimum for asphalt shingles, I thought. I don't even know if that's a 312, it could be like a,
1.5.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a 2.
Are you doing this roof shingles, or are you having a contractor do that?
We're having a contractor do the roof. Yeah.
Did they express a concern about the low pitch roof and shingles?
No, he didn't say, of all the other concerns in this house, he did not say anything about that, so.
They typically won't warrant anything under a 312 with asphalt. So if you want a warranty, you may want to consider
When you say 312, what do you mean by that?
steeper.
Oh, okay.
The pitch of the
Yeah,
roof.
You're
Okay.
kind of like this, which it just doesn't shed enough water. So when you
Yeah.
get ice and snow buildup, it'll creep back up inside the shingles and you'll get leaks.
Okay,
Almost, I mean, it's been on there a while, but
yeah.
kind of hard to tell.
So the remedy for that would be either
A standing
raised-
seam
standing seam roof.
Or rubber. Could you put a rubber roof on something that, does it pitch both directions, or is it just one?
It does, it's got
Yeah.
a gable.
Well, on this picture here, Andrew.
Yeah, you're gonna,
Okay.
you still got enough pitch that you're gonna see it. I wouldn't recommend rubber there, or definitely wouldn't recommend asphalt. Are you opposed to looking into a standing seam? Because I really think that's what you need there.
I'm not opposed to looking into anything.
We just want to make sure that you don't have problems in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I can ask my guy that I have that's looking at all of this but he was like climbing around on top of it and doing all that stuff, and he never said anything about it, so.
Well, I think you said the concern's the warranty.
Yeah, they will not, they can't warranty it
Okay.
for the product itself, so you're not gonna get a warranty with your roof. It's gonna cost you some money. I would
Okay.
highly recommend putting a standing seam on this
Okay.
back addition. You're gonna save yourself a lot of trouble in the
And you know
long
what, I
run.
think even a standing seam, I mean, that's pretty minimal too, don't you think?
It is. But if standing seams, you could put them on a,
Well, yeah, I mean, I
Half
think
well.
it'd be better than an asphalt,
yeah,
shingles.
yes, absolutely.
Does your roof leak now? Has it ever leaked?
No.
Are you sure?
No, and yeah, and when we took it down, the inside is down to the studs right now, and it's got new ceiling joists and everything, and nothing in there has any sign of any water ever being in, so.
What's your current aluminum siding height? Is it 7 inches?
I think it's the same as whatever I put in, because we tried to make it the same
1, 2,
for the siding.
4, so
Yeah,
it's
7 inches.
7 times 5 is whatever that height is.
So while we're talking about siding, there is no detail on the window trim. Do you have any idea what they're planning, just a standard?
Just a standard.
1x4?
Yep.
James Hardy product?
Yep.
What about the sills? 'Cause it looks like on the alley side, you've got a little bit of detail. I saw one picture where your sill is actually sticking out like a sill should.
Oh. Maybe, maybe not.
Right here.
On the original house, like the original brick, it
No.
does, but I don't think it does in any of
Maybe
the,
not on the back.
the addition. It would be the other side of the house, I
They've
think,
just all
right?
been wrapped.
Yeah, these are all wrapped.
Makes a big difference when you have them trim it out, if they do some sort of a protruded sill.
Mhm.
Just breaks up the monotony of everything being flat on the house. All sills would have protruded at least a little bit.
Mhm.
That's up to you.
What are the plans for the foundation? It's painted now, is that correct?
Yes. That's a great question that I had not yet considered. I would probably do white to pull it all together, keep it white.
Are we talking about the foundation wall?
Yes.
It's two different too, like part of it is because when we took down the walls, we realized that, I don't know how much information you have, but when we took down my bedroom wall, which on the other side of it is my bathroom, there was an exterior wall inside. So it had a window and siding on it.
Inside the house?
Inside the house, and then as we went along, along the kitchen wall, it was the same. So we don't know if like maybe even that part of it was part of the original brick and it was like a summer kitchen situation. And then it could have been like a cistern, my dad said, we have no idea, but, so that part, like, even on the other side of that, block window is kind of where it cuts off. So they have different foundations on the outside. Because the whole back is concrete, but then that part that had the siding and stuff is part of a crawl space, so it's all brick on the inside.
Actually, while looking at this, Dave and Pete, it almost looks like, is it an illusion or is the roof sloped this way as well? Or
It
it's
could be an
higher?
illusion because I think I took the picture, that one in particular, in a .5 on my phone to try to get the whole thing in.
Okay.
So it could just be, yeah.
I mean, it looks like it on the other side too, though.
Yeah, it does.
It's possible that they had a existing flashed lesser pitch and they,
Yeah.
you know
just
what I
made
mean?
it
Well,
work.
you said it looks like there was an addition
Yeah.
added to an addition.
And there was also, like, in my bathroom, they just had a flat ceiling, so or a flat roof, so my whole, like when I was taking a shower, like, I could touch my ceiling. So we were always like, what's up there? Like, I'm still looking for treasure, I haven't found any yet, but, but yeah, so it had a flat roof, So, yeah, we kind of were thinking the same thing, like, I don't know if they just were kind of like patching things onto each other, but it's been interesting.
No, the whole thing's pretty shallow,
Yeah.
probably just dictated by that one window in the upper. Touching back on the roof, you've got a black shingle, if we would approve at this time, Andrew, for her to install a non-hidden fastener black standing seam roof, if he gives you that option, that way you don't have to come back here as a condition, are you okay with that?
Yeah,
You say either hidden or non-hidden?
No, non-hidden,
Okay,
yeah.
so exposed,
Those are for sheds.
so for a
Makes
hidden,
sense.
so for a hidden fastener?
Correct.
Okay. I want to make sure we're on the,
I don't know why. I
so
said
basically
non-hidden
an
fastener.
either or?
Yeah, that way she has a choice. I mean, I heavily, like Dave said, I would not recommend putting asphalt shingles on that roof. You probably
Okay.
can get by with it, but, and the age of the house, I mean, it's on there now, so we can't tell you no.
okay.
But I would highly recommend putting a standing seam on. It's gonna hold a snow load a lot better for you.
Okay,
A lot less chance of leaking in the end. There's some dips and sways in that roof now, which makes me think that it's leaked in the past.
You know, once they tear the shingles off, they might see a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
yeah.
So all the windows being vinyl, they're all 1/1s or
Yeah.
side-by-sides now, correct?
Yes, except for that one.
So you're just
Terrible block
replacing like for like?
No, so
They're
I.
all going to be one over one?
Yeah, they're all
Okay.
gonna be, except for the kitchen one, that'll be, side to side.
Is this the
This is gonna be over
kitchen?
the sink.
Sliding.
Yeah.
Is this the kitchen right here?
No, the kitchen window will actually go, well, it'll be back on the other one, but it's gonna be in between kind of that block one, more towards the other one, yeah. But
Okay.
kind of in that area.
So the window's being moved over?
Yes, yeah, all the windows are gonna be moved except for that bathroom
I
one.
mean, this is the rear elevation, right?
I'm sorry?
That's the rear,
Yes,
and it looks like that's a slider?
yeah.
And that
So that wall will have two, double hung, like
Okay.
top and down, instead of the small, that every night I'm like, if my house catches on fire, how am I getting out
So
this
that's
window?
So is that a kitchen back there or a bedroom?
No, that's my bedroom, yeah.
Does she have to get a building permit once she starts doing,
If she's moving window location, she'll need the building.
Yeah, I have the permit paper, I just need to bring it in, we haven't started that part yet.
okay, I mean, because if that's a bedroom, they'll want a egress window size for that. If
Right.
she's redoing the
Is this kind of
window.
what you're thinking? You're adding 2 windows there in the back? I just drew it in with red, but,
Yes.
okay.
Exactly like
Just
that.
changing
Oh,
the
nice.
back. So that rear, we'll get rid of that window. And no windows in the front of the house? Or is it everything?
In the front of the house.
The brick.
There was that
brick.
one.
Are you replacing any of these windows?
No, I'm not touching those, those all
Just
were
the- just the
replaced,
rear addition.
I think, kind of recently.
When are you gonna put the front porch back on?
I want that, I'm like, next it's the patio, then it's the porch.
I don't think she knew about the porch, so I sent her a photo. of what
I
it
actually
looked like.
did, because you wanna know what? Like, I grew up at the house next door. I
Oh.
lived there since I was 2. So
Okay.
I actually knew the people like that lived in my house for my whole life.
So you remember the
I do
late
remember
80s,
it.
early 90s, what it
Yeah,
looked like?
yes, so,
So did you live in the house that Mischief was?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you grow up in Canal, Winchester, you say, I'm getting out of here and I'm never coming back. And then you buy the house that's away from where you grew up.
Right.
That's what you do.
Are you replacing this window here, the one in the front?
That one's just being taken out.
Okay.
Yeah,
taken out.
because, yeah, the shower's gonna go there.
But what you have in here, Anna, is a total of 5 windows will be in the addition, and then the door.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 2 are here.
2 are there, one
Oh.
is on the alley side.
Okay, 1 is here, right in here, you said?
Yep, and then the sliding door.
And then this one will have 2 more?
No, the door, the other bedroom window will be exactly on the other side of that, yeah.
Right here?
Over on that side.
So window, sliding glass door, window?
Yeah. Because there will be a
And then-
closet on that end.
No windows?
Just the one bathroom window,
This one?
yeah,
And then 2 windows here and here?
yep.
Okay.
You
So-
got it.
So we don't need any drawings for any of this kind of stuff?
I mean, as long as you guys are comfortable with
Yeah.
that, that's why I wanted to go through that verbal exercise, just to know when those are being kind of shifted around.
Yeah, the only thing with the windows is, I'd love to see the sills, kind of protruded like the front, if they're able to do that, just to kind of tie the front and back together.
You mean, Pete, that's down here?
Yeah, just a slight, because it's
Well, we
probably
can
they were
request
like
that.
that, they were like that in the rear, and then when they wrapped it, they just chop them off. So you lose all that architectural detail, and they flatten everything so that they can wrap it with metal.
Yeah,
Well, most of the windows are gonna be redone anyway. I mean,
Right.
even though we could tell them that's how we would
So
like
that
to
would
see
just
it.
be the 1x4 Hardy would just extend out a little further on the bottom?
Yeah, they usually use it, the way I do mine, I use a 2-inch piece that's flat, and put a slope on it, and then I cut a little drip edge on the outside, so it drips right. And then you just have a 3-sided casing, 2 legs and a header rather than a box.
okay.
That's a much more modern way to do it by
Yeah.
4-sided, and it gives you a little bit of character and
Yeah.
drains the water away from your house like it's supposed
Yeah,
to.
he definitely said he would have the, I don't know the term for it, but to make the water go away, because my windows don't have those at all.
So it would look
But
like.
no, I would much
look
rather
like
it
this.
have this look more like the original one, like, I
It
just
look-
didn't know that was possible with the hardy board.
Pete, is this the window you were thinking about where the trim's wider and then the bottom?
I thought it was, just because I thought the sill was sticking out a little bit, but it's probably just been, it looks like it's maybe bumped out like a 1/2 inch.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to let it stick out an inch or so, and then you have a little, if they cut a groove in the bottom, it allows your water to drip off of that rather than run back and down your siding.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what elevation this is on, Anna, but that looks like a good example
It's
of,
the east side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be happy to show you some examples too that I could probably send to Andrew and he could
Yeah.
send over to you.
that'd be great.
Okay.
one thing, just for a note, so you said you're gonna take the fence totally out for now?
Yeah,
Okay. When did you want to put a new one back up? Or did you want to change the
when the
style?
project is done and I see how much money I have left.
I was gonna say, if you wanted to keep the fence up for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Just to
Oh, yeah,
keep the
definitely.
height. So if you go to put a new fence up, I think I talked about this before.
Yeah.
It'd have to be shorter.
Yeah,
But if you keep what's there now with height, and then like as you go along, if you wanted to fix and replace boards,
Uh-huh.
then you can do maintenance and keep the height of the fence that's there. So
so if I get a new fence, I can't have it that height?
we'd
4
have,
feet?
we'd have to talk about having a variance for the height because of the alley right there.
Oh, I thought that was only for like privacy fences, no?
Kind of yes and no.
Okay.
We can talk about
Okay.
after this, but before they just like rip all the fence down.
Yeah, okay,
If you want to just, remove like this problem, for construction area first.
right,
Then, at least you can keep some of the height that you have without having to jump through a bunch of hoops.
okay.
And I can show you some examples in town where they've done stuff like that to.
Okay, cool.
To keep it.
Do we have any further questions? I would like to make a motion that we approve application CA-24-033 with a condition that we also will approve a black hidden fastener sanding seam roof if the applicant chooses, as opposed to the architectural black asphalt that has been presented. And also that the new windows in the rear of the addition to have some sort of a protruded sill similar to the front part of the house.
I'll second.
Roll call, David Craycraft,
Yes.
Pete Lynch,
Yes.
Roger White, yes, Linda Bovee,
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Cute
you.
little place.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, I bought it 10 years ago, and I was like, I'm gonna fix it up, and then I went to slow become a teacher.
Oh.
Now's
And
the
now here I
time.
am,
All right.
10 years later.
It's never too late.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Andrew, I'll probably forget, but if you want me to send you some pictures of that trim, I've got some good ones I can.
Yeah, I was thinking when you were bringing that up, I think Mark Kalk's house there on Waterloo, the green one, he has a really nice sloped sill
Okay,
that's made a part of, I think it's made a party.
yeah.
Which house?
The old flower shop on Waterloo.
Oh, yeah.
I think that one has a really nice detail.
So the way my trim's boxed out on my addition too, or it's just a little bit further sticking out, really accentuates the windows on a small addition like that, it really makes it pop. Consider that too.
I don't really have anything for old and new business. Seems like we're staying just as busy as ever here at Landmarks. I expect, the rest of the year is probably gonna keep up the same pace based off of how fast people turn stuff in. I don't have anything else.
The church that was in here last month with the ramp on the west side, he's now thinking about redoing all the sidewalks on the west side,
Okay,
just like for like.
okay.
Does he have to come in for that, or is that?
If he's just pouring new walk
Yeah.
and it's gonna be the same dimensions and
Same
stuff, then no.
Okay.
Anything else?
Are they going to tear up all the brick underneath the traffic light?
Yes.
When will that be?
When? I believe that takes place after Labor Day. So they are closing the intersection for Labor Day, and then it'll be closed the following 2 or 3 weeks after that to do the intersection work.
They'll have the sidewalk there in front of Nom Nom and the barber shop all done. They tore it up today.
I have no idea.
Does anyone go to that Nom Nom store?
I've been there once or twice.
Yeah? It's just been there a while now, so it's one of those stores that went in, I thought, well.
And actually,
I think.
I have tasted some of their product,
I think what they do.
and it's kind of bland.
I think they go to trade shows all the time, and that's where they make all their money, is doing that. And the husband has a automotive repair shop off of James Road in that industrial complex right there at 33 in James. He's got a big business there, so.
That's interesting, business.
But he does, they told me that they go to a lot of trade shows and dog shows and that type of thing set up there.
So they wholesale to these other
I don't know
companies.
how they do it, but
Yeah.
that's not their only outlet there at Nom Nom. I mean,
Right,
that
probably selling a ton
location-
of stuff online. It's just,
Huh?
Oh, that's
probably
true.
selling a lot online
Yeah.
nowadays, yeah. That's exciting.
Interesting.
Anything else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:18.
Oh, second?
Pete Lynch,
Yes.
David Craycraft,
Yes.
Roger White, yes. Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Linda Bovee.
Yes.